Come a little this way. Might not be able to move the chair, but Bismillah. I have everybody muted. Welcome. You may not know it, but we'll start with the Sufi invocation of Hazrat Inayat Khan. Toward the One, the perfection of love, harmony, and beauty, the only being, united with all the illuminated souls who form the embodiment of the Master, the Spirit of guidance. And we'll start with some images. Let's see if that works. I can't tell which one is first. Darn. Can you shake your head if you see the image? Okay, good. Okay, here we go. Can you hear it?
The ocean refuses no river. The ocean refuses no river, no river. Ishqa la bulela, illallah.
Just lost the audio.
Lost the audio.
We want to welcome everyone here.
Wait, let me make sure we're unmuted. Okay, go ahead.
good to see you all. Good to be with you all. And I just want to encourage us to really be in our breath. And of course, I see the intensity of love and care.
You know, look here,
I don't know.
right there.
Yeah. Well,
Something happens to us. We might hear about death all the time. We might be feeling some deep grief and deep feelings around what's happening in India and so many other places in the world. But something really happens, seems to happen to all of us, or almost all of us, when somebody close to us, somebody we love and care about, dies, leaves the scene. And mostly what happens to all of us is a very much the same thing. Something kind of shakes us to our core and brings
Trying to
death
get it
closer.
to unmute.
Unmute?
Can't hear anything.
You can't hear anything?
I could hear you.
Okay.
so it's
I
on
can
your
hear
end.
you.
It's on your end.
I can hear you.
Raise up your sound if you can. Something maybe.
No, it's not an iPad.
Something happens to all of us that we just are shaken into the preciousness and fragility of life and the rawness and how close death is and how quickly.
My computer at work has a volume.
Could you all mute yourselves? Could you all mute yourselves, please? Thank you. Thank you. Even though some part of us knows that everybody we love and care about, at some point we're going to say
Interesting
goodbye.
to see everybody that's here.
It'd be good if everybody mutes themselves, please.
Bodhi, as the host, you can mute any of us.
I'm gonna do that now.
Okay.
I'm gonna do that now.
Thank you.
I'm gonna mute everybody, and when it's and later on I'll open it up and people have the opportunity to speak. So what I was saying was, even though some part of us knows that we're going to say goodbye to everybody we love and care about, still it doesn't always prepare ourselves when somebody we love and care about dies and leaves the scene. And you must know by now that some people leave a bigger hole in the circle than other people, and for me and for many of us, Jason leaves a really big hole, very much so in this Maui Sufi community and the larger Maui community. Apparently people at the post office were feeling it. And so for many of you, same, it's big that Jason, he left too soon, he left too quickly, and that might have been true no matter when he left, no matter. I met Jason in 1978. I was spending a lot of time with Detchen at the time, and Jason showed up, and he's about 10 years older than me and was definitely more of a grown-up than I was at the time. Maybe still is. I think we traded places for many years, but for 43 years we've been around each other and have grown up together, and through Sufi camps and many life's adventures and family adventures and the ups and downs of life, and we've been in each other's lives for 43 years, which is I only have a few other men that I've been close to for that long. So it's really big for me, and more my brother than my brother, in so many deep ways. And I'd call him up every now and then, and the first thing I would say would be "Sunshine," and Jason would know right away it was me. And like many of you, he would say, "My buddy the bee," just like the way he'd respond to all of you. And when I listen to everybody sharing about Jason, everybody pretty much says the same thing, that we all felt so welcomed and loved and taken into his arms and hugged, either physically, he was a great hugger, still we could feel his hugs, and also just psychically, feeling him wrapping around us with his generosity and his gratitude, and really seeing the best in us and wishing the best in us, and always with the message of, how can I make your life better? And what a dear legacy that is for me, for my family, my children being around him, and for so many of us. So I don't want to go on too long, because there's a lot of us, and I'm sure a number of you want to share. And there are some people that are going to share right off the bat that are on a list of people who will speak now. We'll intersperse the whole thing with some more video, some more slides, and then we'll open it up at some point to let at least some of you share, because we may not have time for everybody to share. So if Justin's on the line, and I can't tell right now, I want to let Justin, Jason's son, speak first. So I've asked Karima to kind of monitor spotlighting people on this call, asking everyone to be succinct so that there is
Now
time
it's
for
unmuted.
everyone.
Now it says mute.
No, move your. It's
I don't think
unmuted.
I'm
I see the
co-host
line's
yet.
gone.
She doesn't think she's co-host yet.
See?
Okay, I've got to make you the
Line in
co-host.
it.
Let's do that. Let's do that. Sorry about that. That'll take a minute.
Here, ALT.
People come on later.
I know. Where are you, Karima? What's your name in here?
She floats up to the top because she's unmuted. When people unmute, they float to the top of the list.
Okay, very good. Thank you.
Not muted.
Thank you.
Press the mute.
Okay, I've made you the co-host.
Not muted.
Okay, I'll take care of the muting as it needs to as well.
Try it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So Justin, maybe
Hi, can you hear me?
yes.
Thanks, Bodhi, and thanks, Leila, for facilitating this, and
Works?
thanks
No.
everybody for
Turn on.
joining. I'll be
I've got the speakers plugged in.
sitting here with
Oh, none of this. none of the speakers
Emily.
work then?
stepped out for a second, but we're all here, and I just wanted to start out by I wanted to thank the community, because it was a really interesting experience when my dad was struggling at the end, and I saw the community come together to support him, to support Dechen, and I was fortunate enough to be there for some of that time, and it was very moving. It's a community that I've been a part of since I was very small. Some different players, but ultimately it's the same community that I grew up with, more or less, and I always knew what the community was about, but there was never like a need. It was more of like, this is my dad, and this is Dechen's chosen family. That was the Maui family, and I always understood it that way, and it was my family too. But it's not until you have a need that you see what someone's really made of, and I saw the community come together in a way that was so moving and powerful, and I just want to start by thanking everybody for the physical, emotional, and loving support during that time. I still feel it, and I know my dad did and does, and that was very impactful. And I want to say that I was thinking a lot about what who my dad was and what my dad really represented to me. And I think it's really the same as everybody else. And I think that's what's so interesting is that, you know, some people have really different relationships with their family than they do with their friends and you know, with their chosen family. And my dad was so interesting because he was so consistent with everybody and so fully embracing and loving. And you know, if I had to choose a word, just one word, which I know, you know, it's a narrow bandwidth, but if I had to choose one word that really represents who he was as a person, I would say it's playful. Honestly, he was the most playful and hilarious person that I know.
Are we muted?
And you know, he didn't earn the name Swampy Splashinada for nothing. He identified, I was talking to Bodhi about this, he identified with the character Hobbes, from Calvin and Hobbes. He really, you know, he was born in the year of the tiger. He loved the tiger. He had this embodiment of pouncing, he would call it. From the time I was a little kid, he would, like, you know, hide behind the door. And, some people might be traumatized by this, but to me it was fantastic. And he would pounce and he'd go rah, and he would do this to my kids, and he would do this to a lot of people. It was very funny, and the incarnation of Hobbes earned him the name of Swampy Splashinada because he would do that in the water. And he would splash people, and he would really piss people off sometimes. But it was the funniest thing. He would welcome you in the water a little abruptly with the predictable splash, and you know, and so that's part of his essence that I carry a little bit of that with me, to my family's dismay sometimes. But you know, that's to me that I hold him in my heart more in his playfulness than in any other way. And I think that if he would want to be remembered for anything, that would probably be high up on the list. He stood for a lot of things, and he prayed and focused his life on a lot of spiritual qualities. But I think that he embodied this loving, playful spirit that was infectious. And that's when Bodhi talks about even the people at the post office were devastated to hear his loss. It's because everywhere he went, he spread that playful energy that would uplift people and bring them out of whatever life has the propensity to help us forget. He would remind us that you know, we have an opportunity here to have fun. And you know, there's so many things I can say about him, and I know there's a lot of people who want to speak. In fact, I'm gonna hijack this event a little bit to let my 18-year-old daughter Elia speak, who really loved and is really close with my dad. And I'm gonna ask my 8-year-old to be quiet. That's Adam.
Hi everyone. My name is Elia. I'm my dad's oldest kid. And I guess I'll say a few things. I wrote down a few things about my grandpa that I wanted to share with you. So first, I mean, I think my grandpa's attitude had some sort of positive impact on most of your lives. Sorry. His presence elevated any room, and I think it made everyone feel safe. It definitely made me feel safe, and his positivity was infectious, and it lifted my spirits no matter what was going on. And I think a lot of you can say the same. Even though I didn't always care when he reminded me to be kind and generous and compassionate, I now understand how important those words are. And I'm really grateful that he taught me that, because no one other than him was so straight up about those things and how important it is to incorporate those words in your life. His energy was so youthful, and sometimes it made me forget that he wasn't my friend and he was actually my grandpa. whether it was showing me, he loved showing me his new dance moves as a kid and performing his questionable magic tricks. He actually convinced me that he was a real magician. He never failed to make me laugh. He was probably one of the funniest people that was in my life. I miss hearing his voice saying, "I love you, granddaughter supreme." I don't know where that nickname came from, but it was really sweet and I really liked it. And my dad talked about his playfulness earlier, and I think it was one of his best qualities, and it made him who he was and made everybody feel so connected to him. He was just a very kind person who worked really hard to take care of his family and be there for his friends and be the best person he could be. And he really made a big impact on everyone around him. And I think he'll be very, very missed. I know in our family he's very missed. And I know in most of your families or in your community, I'm sure you miss him a lot because he just made such a presence. He made such a name for himself and everyone loved him. I don't know anyone who didn't like him. He was just such a positive, fun guy. And I know his memory will live on thanks to his wonderful community. Thank you.
Let me just say this. I feel like when, my dad was, he had this obsession about money. So I'm just going to talk about that, right? But the thing that's interesting about my dad and his relationship with money is that he had this fantasy about helping millions and millions of people. He didn't have a fantasy about living the life of like, a rich person. He was a very simple guy. He had a fantasy about creating all kinds of humanitarian projects and helping this community and helping that community and helping his own community. And he visualized all this stuff every day. He was very clear about what he wanted. And I know that not everybody had that relationship with him, some people more than others. To me, it sometimes came across as like he was obsessed about these different funding projects. And he knew how I felt about them, so he would call them pie in the sky. But I admire him so much for his focus on what he wanted to do with that. And that really says a lot about who somebody is. He wanted to, in a way, he wanted to make a difference, make people's lives better. And he did that on a micro and in a macro level. In closing, I just wanted to say that the last day that I saw him, when he wasn't doing all that well, it was difficult for him to breathe. And what really struck me was that in spite of that his attitude that you all know, and a sense of humor that you all know would still shine through, even though it was really difficult for him to speak. He would use his hand gestures in the funniest way, and his sense of humor was still completely intact. In spite of suffering and being really uncomfortable, he managed to have the most amazing attitude and still be hilarious. And I can only hope that I would be that way in the same situation. I mean, he really, in a sense, that really shows, I think, his all the work that he did over the years. It shows his ability to have total presence of mind and be completely who he was, in spite of being in a situation that was scary and uncomfortable. And I want to honor him for that. And I'll close.
Okay, I'll put on here.
Thank you, Jason. Thank you, Justin. And I never saw it as a fantasy. I always saw it as a vision and a dream and a very strong intention. And I respected him very much for all that he wanted to do. in his manifestation. And since you brought it up, I want to show you all an image I made. Where are you now? Come on. Well, you're not on here for some reason. Okay, well, that's not going to happen. So we'll switch to we'll see one of these.
We are living neath the great big dipper. We are washed by the very same rain. We are swimming in the stream together, some in power and some in pain. We can worship this ground we walk on, cherishing the beings that we live beside. Loving spirits will live forever. We're all swimming to the other side. I am alone and I am searching, hungering for answers in my time. I am balanced at the brink of wisdom. I'm impatient to receive a sign. I move forward with my senses open. Imperfection to be my crime. In humility I will listen. We're all swimming to the other side. We are living beneath the great big dipper. We are washed by the very same rain. We are swimming in the stream together, some in power and some in pain. We can worship this ground we walk on, cherishing the beings that we live beside. Loving spirits will live forever. We're all swimming to the other side. On this journey through thoughts and feelings, finding intuition, my head, my heart, I am gathering the tools together. I'm preparing to do my part. All of those who've come before me, band together and be my guide. Loving lessons that I will follow. We're all swimming to the other side. We are living beneath the great big dipper. We are washed by the very same rain. We are swimming in the stream together, some in power and some in pain. We can worship this ground we walk on, cherishing the beings that we live beside. Loving spirits will live forever. We're all swimming to the other side. When we get there, we'll discover all of the gifts we've been given to share have been with us since life's beginning, and we never noticed they were there. We can balance at the brink of wisdom, never recognizing that we've arrived. Loving spirits will live together. We're all swimming to the other side. We are living beneath the great big dipper. We are washed by the very same rain. We are swimming in the stream together, some in power and some in pain. We can worship this ground we walk on, cherishing the beings that we live beside. Loving spirits will live forever. We're all swimming to the other side. Loving spirits will live forever. We're all swimming to the other side.
I found the image I want to share with you real quick, since Justin brought it up. And by the way, Justin, I just want to appreciate you for speaking out about the money piece. If I didn't say that, but here's the image I made because Justin brought up Hobbes, and I know we've experienced. I mean, I think both of those really encapsulate Swampy, Splash Ananda, and the Hobbes that Jason really was for so many of us. So now we'd like to hear from Shabda Khan, who's the peer of our Sufi lineage. And I have to I have to.
Oh, greetings and salutations, dear friends. Well, let's see, I think you have to stop the screen sharing. There it is. I'm doing my best to lean on the gratitude side, not the loss side. Our dearest friend. Like Bodhi said, I'd call up, and like all of you, it's my beloved the peer, you know. He's in the, for some of us, we feel that he's in a station called the Bardos, a world in between, and we have an opportunity for 49 days to make prayers for him. That period ends on June 1st, so like some of you, I'm making daily prayers, but he spent the last few years, he would recite Ya Fatah 1,000 times a day, which means may the way open. So I thought we could recite it together for him and send him on his way, because I know if there's anything we can do, we'd like to do that for his benefit. And also, I want to direct that same loving kindness and compassion and gratitude and graciousness to our dear Detchen. She's my Shida. I love her so much and appreciate the grace she brings to this life. And I feel like what Jason was, what Detchen was, they were together. And when we're speaking about Jason, I feel we can't leave Detchen out of that picture. She helped bring those things out of him, and he out of her. So here we go. Ya Fatah, 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 Ya Fatah. It was my buddy hello, it's my buddy the peer. Bodhi Leila, is now a time to add a little music, or do you want to put that in a different part?
Let's put that in a different part and keep. Thank you, and we'll come around again.
Okay. It's so wonderful to be with you all. I never felt like I had to buy a house on Maui because I have 100 homes there, and it's one of the most beautiful places on the planet, and you all make it so beautiful. And I just want to remark too that Jason and Detchen together were the Maui Sufi camp, and they made it the most gracious, most beautiful place that anybody could come to open their heart. And I want to extend my gratitude to each and every one of you. And Ya Fatah, Jason, we love you so much. We miss you, but we know we'll be together. Ya Fatah. Thank you.
Thank you, Shabda. Now we'd like to hear from Gabriel. Gabriel Cousins, we're looking for you.
Maybe Karima can do this.
Great.
Okay. Can you see me now?
Yeah, we see you, we hear you.
Okay, that's a good start, isn't it? So I'm going to start with a prayer about the merging of heavens and earth, because for me, Jason was able to merge the heavens and earth in his own life and making everything holy and joyful in what he did. So here's the prayer. L'shemiku kadasha brihu hushinate bi ilo imulaya jimyuki babake biudash lamasham kozreo kolam amen. So just feel that merging of heavens and earth, and you'll touch in more to Jason's inner experience in that way. So Jason was really my best friend for over 40 years. Okay, we met in a spiritual context at the Oakland Ashram, 1979. And since that time, we've talked at least 3 times a week and communicated maybe 6 times a week. We just hit it off on many levels, but mostly we talked about spiritual life. That was our main thing. It is hard to believe he's left the earth plane, but his presence has not left my heart, and I don't think anybody else's heart. He had a very strong presence, and he still does have that very strong presence, which I celebrate. And it's obvious, everybody knows that Detchen was the most important person in his life. Sweetheart darling, his mermaid. Talked about Detchen a lot, and we're talking 3 times a week. I'm always hearing how much he loved Detchen. And that it's a romantic love of 42 years. It's unique. It's legendary. And I want to honor Jason and Detchen for having such a legendary love affair. It's really an example of what relationships and intimacy can be about. As he said, and I quote, she's the #1 joy in my life, which I am so grateful. So I obviously offer my condolences to Detchen and my blessings for being such a wonderful mate and really sweetheart darling for him. You made his life in so many ways. So I thank you for that. One reason that Jason and I had so much to talk about was our, let's say, our shared background. We came from Russia, Poland. We had a certain genetics, and actually, as a rabbi, I would feel really bad if I didn't share and honor his past early life genetics, which is going to be the mourner's Kaddish. So I'm going to just stand and share that. It wouldn't be right if I didn't do that. It takes about 1.5 minutes. Yishkadav, Yishkadash Shemei Rabo, Ba'olmo, Yivru Hoso, Yamalek, Lahus, V'hai, V'hayom, Uvhayom, Uvhai, Dikobe Yisrael, V'galo, Uvizman Koriv, Dimuru, Amen. Omaya, Yahai Shemei Rabo, Barak, Le'alam Ulmei, Olmeyo. Hey, Barak, Le'alam Ulmeo, Olmeo. Yishbarak, Yishtabak, Yishbarav, Yishwama, Yishnasev, Yishnadar, Yishalei, Yishado, Shemei, Dikusho, Brihu. Amo, Binko. Verhuso, Tushbahuso, Venama Hoso, Imru, 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 Amen. Yeshe Smo, Rabo, Min, Shemayo, Bahayim, Oleo, Theokol Israel, Imru, Amen. And that's just part of the wondrous part of Jason. He did have that background, and I just had to honor it. Okay. Jason loved basketball. We're both athletes, and I have to honor that part of him too. He was a jock, and he liked being a jock. I played at the high school and college varsity level, and we just linked around, not so much basketball. For me, it was football. But he also grew up working with his parents, okay? And that's where he learned his, I think, really amazing work ethic. And he became the first person in his family to get a BA and then a master's in business, which is really a bigger part of his early life. I just want to again acknowledge that he had this very complete life with many strong plays in his life that he played out. And then of course he was, like he does the rest of his life, he was very successful, and he retired in 1976 with a very successful business. And also, as you know, most of you know, he did multi-marketing. But there was more to him than just spirituality. Very family centered, that's really clear. I am so impressed that he took care of both the mothers, his mother for 8 years, Detchen's mother for 18 years. That is heroic. Very few people have the kind of strength and integrity to do something like that. We like that we took care of Shanti, my wife's mother, for 11 years. It's fun, but it's a little bit of work too. And it was fun witnessing it. So he took on these qualities of love and loyalty and hard work. And that's what his parents passed on to him, that integrity. Very, very important for him. Jason had 2 children, Justin and Cami, as we know, 7 grandchildren, 5 great-grandchildren. Powerful lineage, not just the Maui family, but this personal lineage. So I'm trying to see the holistic Jason with all his very interesting and very important parts. So we also shared the joys of grandfather talk, which is really kind of special these days, to have a lineage, to have children, to have grandchildren. And we were grandfathers. That's just part of our joy, is part of the whole thing. With time, his focus became more and more spiritual. And that's why I think how a lot of you know him. He would take these 3-mile walks, and he had so much gratitude and joy, and he'd contemplate spiritual life. He thought a lot. I mean, we shared a lot about spiritual life. He says his spiritual life brought him so much joy, insight, and pleasure. It was like became the main thing, which was just beautiful to see in him. We talked about his idea of loving qualities, the awareness, sincere kindness, his incredible gratitude, his generosity, his impeccable integrity, compassion, mercy. He's just in a wonderful, positive attitude. I mean, everybody said, this guy, Jason, so positive, so uplifting. That's a gift to the world. And he actually began to put some of these ideas into poetry that he would share with me. So to me, Jason was a human hero. He had the highest qualities of what it meant to be a full human being. And I bless him and I honor him for being such a great soul and sharing so much light and love and gratitude with the world. Aho, amen.
Aho, amen. Thank you, Gabriel.
Okay.
Now we'll go to Leela.
Can you hear me?
Yep.
Hi. I wanted to share my own personal gratitude to Jason, because Jason truly changed my life. When in about 1994 or 1995, right around in there, Yaksanen passed away. And Jason called me out of the blue one day. I didn't even know exactly how he found me on the Big Island and everything, but he did. And invited me to come to a camp. He wanted to reunite the musicians that had played several times when Yaksan had come over. And so sure, I came. And I was in a spiritual sort of, not dark, but say confused state at that particular point in my life. And so that first time I went back to Maui without Yaksan and was embraced by the Maui family, it was so, so important to me. And it set me on this trajectory of becoming a dance leader, not, you know, specifically a musician, but also leading, and just making so many deep friendships in the Maui community. And for 20 years or so, I came once or twice a year over to the camps there. And so much creativity in that time period of all the dances that manifested through me. I don't think it would have happened without the love and support from the Maui community and the inspiration that I received from those camps. And so I am so grateful to Jason for extending that first invitation to me and then the subsequent invitations. And when I heard of Jason's passing, I realized that I had never truly thanked him for that, specifically for that. And there's a little tinge of regret about that I never thanked him. So the lesson I'm taking from that is now I really want to express my gratitude to everyone, and then to specific individuals as I move through my life, to not put anything like that on hold anymore. So that's what I wanted to share, how important Jason was to me and the trajectory of my life. Thank you.
Thank you, Leela.
Thank you, Leela. Yeah, that's such an important piece, Leela. Thank you. We never know when the last time we're going to see somebody is, and so often we wished we'd had another moment or another chance to speak with someone, and we have, so many of us have feelings about that particular thing, and what a great teaching about the next time you're standing in front of somebody. So thank you, Leela. Now we'll go to Robert Narette.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, you're on. We're good.
Okay. I don't know if I'm in a good place to be heard because I'm outside at a Starbucks up in the high desert, which there's a lot of noise around me. Anyway, I'll keep it brief, but I just want to express my love, gratitude to everybody. I miss your sacred, beautiful smiles and faces. Hearing so many words, I am reminiscent and kind of a little stunned of how deep in the weave I am.
Robert, we're here.
The Jason mandala.
Robert, we're hearing.
Pardon?
There's so many voices. It's big.
Okay. I'll save it for another time. I'm outside and there's a lot of voices, so apologies for that. I will write something. Okay. Thank you.
Chat window right now. Chat window, what you were going to read. Thank you, Robert. Good to see you.
I don't know if you heard that, Robert, but you can write it in the chat window. And also, Aries collecting anything people want to say that they don't get to say today. And now we'll go to Maloa, please.
Unmute myself there. There, okay. Am I there? I don't see me. I only see you. Well, it's just like was such a shock to hear this, because Jason's my brother, and he and Detchen have been my dearest friends for over 40 years. We did these camps together, and he's just such an embodiment of love and wisdom and compassion and generosity. And, my sense is that he is with the saints and the masters and the other bodhisattvas, just shining his light and serving in whatever place or state he is. He's an embodiment of joy and love and wisdom and mercy and compassion. He's just the whole thing. And when I moved to the mainland to take care of my parents, and I was gone much longer than I thought, and I would come back to Maui, and every time I would come back, I would stay with Jason and Detchen, sweetheart, darling. And when Jason would pick me up at the airport, they took turns, but when Jason would pick me up, I'd get one of those wonderful Jason hugs that, you just feel so loved, and it's really in the heart. And then we'd be driving along and he'd say, Maloa, what's mercy? Or what's mercy? What's the difference between mercy and compassion? And he just loved to go deep into spiritual inquiry. And, as Gabriel was saying, these spiritual discussions, he just loved it. He thrived on it. And, was a long-time practitioner. Excuse Pono. I was going to say another part, which Justin already mentioned about his joy, and that, the swampy Splashimanda when we would be in the ocean, and when he was happy, oh no, please stop. Sorry about that. When he was happy, he would do his Snoopy happy dance, like nobody else could ever do it. And the other thing I wanted to touch on was just another thing Gabriel mentioned before was the sports part. Now, when I moved back here a few years ago, every time there was a Warriors game on, I would go over to Ditchin and Jason so we could all watch the Warriors together and root the Warriors and cheer when Steph made a three-pointer. And, it was just that was just an atmosphere of joy and wisdom and love and generosity. That just was him. And being with him and Detchen together, because that's how they rolled. They were together in love. And I have to say, it was like being in a field of love when I was with them. Their presence together, their love, the adoration they had for each other, it's palpable. You just, you feel it, and you know how real it is. And so I of course really honor you, Detchen, and love you as my sister. And I just want to end on Jason's last words. When he would write his emails or his posts, he would always sign off, as I know you all know, he would always sign off with, "To God alone the glory, to God alone the glory." He dedicated everything to God, and he did his yafatahs every day, and he embodied it. He was it. Loving awareness and joy, and just deep, deep gratitude for Jason for being here as our dear, dear friend and companion on the path. Thank you.
Thank you, Maloa. Now we'll hear from Gayan.
Aloha, everyone. All right, so here we are, Jason and Detchen. You brought us all together again.
We can't see you.
Oh. There we go. So you can see and hear me now? So here we are again, Jason and Detchen. You brought us together again. Thank you. And it's my turn. It's our turn to ask. Okay, Jason, buddy, how can I serve you in your next big adventure? How can I serve you? Jason, you greeted me with such unconditional love in 2004, the first time that I came to Maui. And I knew this because I saw you greet your buddy Shabda, your beloved peer Shabda, with exactly the same love and care and cherishing. And I knew right then just how precious you were and a living example of unconditional love. Detchen, yours and Jason's is an epic love, and my heart goes out to you. It continues to go out to you, dear. I can only imagine the depth of feeling you're experiencing. And I just want to honor you and bow to you on this Mother's Day. Thank you for your beautiful mothering. Once when I was visiting with Jason, he asked, so what about your travels? Where are you going to be going after you leave Maui Sufi camp? And I said, oh, I'm going to be going to Russia, to which he said, oh, too cold. And then I said, after that, I'll be going to South America, to which he said, oh, the language, too complicated. And I love that about Jason. He was just so real with whatever was right. Granddaughters and appreciation will continue to live on, not only in our Sufi Ruhaniyat lineage and our Maui Sufi Ohana and in our Jason's immediate family, but beyond. People will meet us and they'll not know that it's Jason Groode who taught us so much about appreciation and an attitude, but your legacy, Jason, will live on in that way. It lives on now. And another way that your legacy lives on, Jason, is through your practice of Yafata, your inner practice. You've blessed us, you've blessed our community, you've blessed the world 1,001 times a day. Yafata. Be open and be ever open. And so we carry this lesson forward, we carry this teaching forward, and your legacy continues in that way, beloved Jason. Your community health concerns were real and useful. You sent us tips in your beautiful messages when Fukushima accident happened, how to take good care of our bodies and beings. And I always look forward to receiving your messages, whether they're about community health or attitude, gratitude. You sent those beautiful sharings around COVID that your good buddy, Dr. Gabriel Cousins, sent us about how to take good care of our bodies and beings during the pandemic. And I, for one, will miss receiving those messages. So in closing, I want to really bow to our Maui Sufi Ohana. Thank you all. I love you all so much. You've blessed my life. You blessed all of our lives in such beautiful ways. And this, all are equal. We know this. No greater or lesser merit. And yes, I just want to bow to the fact that Jason's passing leaves a big hole. So it's up to us, isn't it? To fill that hole in our own way, in our beautiful ways, to come forward and bring forth and continue this blessing of the absolute, this love of spirit, this love of humanity, this love of playfulness, and love mischief. So in closing, Jason, thank you. Yashakur, Yashakur. And as you travel on, travel well, travel light. Know that we are just between downbeats. We are just between heartbeats. Mahalo, Jason and Detchen.
Thank you, Gayan. I'll play another slideshow. I know Jason's niece Judy and Detchen spent hours and hours on these slideshows, and really made me think about whether I wanted to start working on my slideshow. You might think about it.
much your love means? Do you know how many hearts you've lifted? Do you know your love is healing? Such a beautiful feeling. Do you know your love is precious? It warms me like the shining sun. Keep shining through the darkest season. Our life has such a perfect reason. Do you know how much you love me? Do you know how many hearts you've lifted? Do you know your love is healing? Such a beautiful feeling. Do you know your love is precious? It warms me like the shining sun. Keep shining through the darkest season. Our life has such a perfect only love is heaven. Only peace can place you there. Only we can decide for peace. Only love is heaven. Only peace can place you there. Only we can decide for peace. Only love is heaven. Only peace can place you there. Only we can decide for
That effort, no.
So those were the planned, those were the planned speakers. So,
Bodie, real quick, can I say something?
yeah, please.
If you, when you're playing the video, if you hit the little green button, it'll show on the whole screen, it should. And then if you keep your cursor away from anything like the top of the line or on anything, then the cursor in that little box will go away.
Okay.
As a suggestion. Thank you.
So now we were going to open it up to anyone now that wants to share, speak, and you can raise your hand there's a window to raise your hand in, and we'll see your hand raised. And if you don't see where that is, Karima's going to look around to see if you're physically raising your hand in your little window, and then she'll spotlight you. And again, I would ask that you keep it fairly short, because there's a bunch of us. There's 150 of us.
The hand is under reaction button.
Thank you.
Solomon, we don't hear you or see you yet.
Maybe she doesn't have him activated. He's just raising his hand.
We don't hear you. We see you now.
Okay, do you hear me?
Yes.
Yes, you hear me?
Yes.
Aloha. Jason was a dear friend. I first met him when I first came to Hawaii, and I hitchhiked to a meditation camp, and I didn't even know what I was going to. And that's when I met Jason and Detchen, and Jason was teaching I Am Teachings of Saint Germain. And it was my first Hawaiian Sufi camp, which totally transformed my entire life. And that's when I first met Jason and Detchen, and he's been a brother, a dear soul. We worked together, organizing many, many camps in many ways. I did my best to always be present for him, and he was a great organizer, great love. All he ever did was share love and want to give everything to everyone. He was a giver. He was a major giver of love and presence and prosperity. We always made anyone who wanted to come to camp, we always made it work for them, no matter what the financial situation. He was always giving. He was such a loving soul. And in the last year, we spoke almost every day, and I carry him in my heart. And I love Detchen very much. I carry her in my heart, and all the great things that they did together as a couple. And watching all the slides of their family, what a blessing to have such a loving family like that. While I was watching that, I realized that's something I don't have in my life. And watching all those slides really brought tears to my eyes. And so I know he's missed by his entire family and many friends. And we wish him well. Ahui ho ya fatah. His favorite practice to do for many, many years, chanting that 1,000 times every day. And may his soul rest in the light of heaven. And may we remember Jason in our hearts and do our best to act as he did. Many, many blessings. Aloha.
Thank you, Solomon.
Denzel.
Oh, look who's here.
Aloha. Oh, so lovely. Thank you all for doing this. This is so beautiful. And I just wanted to share some memories and bring it to the present. So I'll make it as quickly as I can. It was early in our lives in Maui, and life was super simple. No tourists. It was paradise wide open. And we, as a collective group of people, sort of found it to be our next home. And in the beauty of that, I remember meeting Jason at a healing workshop at Chaitanya's. And this is probably 1978.
Yep.
Yeah. And he was a beautiful being and sort of didn't really feel like he was in the right place, but he was really curious. Knew that about him. At the time, Detchen and I were inseparable, and over the next couple of months, Jason showed up for various events. And there was one interest in his mind, and that was Detchen. So it wasn't exactly what he had in mind, I think. Fresh out of Polarity School, and had a mind of his own, for sure. And so we developed a relationship and a friendship, and many days of him being on Maui. And then he asked me if I would go for a walk on the beach with him. And he sort of asked me all kinds of questions about how he could possibly penetrate the relationship of Detchen and find a way to woo her. And I just remember his words, and that was, "She is so beautiful, but she scares me." And so over the years, and him coming back and forth between LA, San Diego, and Maui, they finally got together and moved to Huelo, which I think it really made such an impact on him and really changed his life. Back then, there was really no hiding of the magic of Maui, and the abundance of love in the community and the Maui family was infectious. And knowing who Jason was, with all of his love and his integrity and his background of beautiful family, his mother and his father were.
Can you hear me? How are you doing?
So watching this transformation of Jason over the years, and how his love with Detchen really opened his heart and allowed the true Jason to come forward, was a beautiful, beautiful experience. And then over the years of watching how he embraced his role in the community and his love and generosity and joy and laughter, and bringing to us his family of both his mother and his father and Detchen's mother, and how they brought that to us. None of us had extended family like that on Maui, and I think that was such a gift for so many people. And his love and support of me all the years was profound. He always was so supportive of me to fulfill whatever vision I had through healthcare and studies and going abroad to China, and he was so monumental in my life, really, as a mentor, as a godfather, as the spirit who was so giving and always so present. And seeing his love for Detchen was a true healing for all those who were around that. So I just thank you, Jason, for your presence, your love, your friendship, and your beauty of optimism throughout life. I really am grateful for you in my heart. Thank you, Detchen. Love you.
Thank you, Pam.
We might be muted.
Thank you, Denzel.
You'll have to unmute when you're ready, she said.
Oh, it's my turn? Yeah. Okay, do you? Yeah. Hi, everyone. I just wanted to say something quickly about what Jason was for me. So I actually met Jason in, I think it was 2001, and it was before I met Justin. Jason was my father-in-law, in case someone doesn't know me. And because of Jason, I actually met Justin. But Jason was so humble. This is one thing that he always represented in my life. He was so humble that he didn't need the acknowledgement for anything. He would pass on the acknowledgement for other people that he viewed that needed it more than him, because he was so accepting, so non-judgmental, and so giving. And so he would not often take credit for things, and he always just accepted everyone the way they are, and accepted us with all of the decisions that we've made in our lives, and embraced it even when he didn't agree with our choices. But he was always there, and he came all the way to Israel, and he just really fully enjoyed everything. He embraced my own siblings and my parents, and he was just that kind of person, very inclusive. And I think that we can see it throughout everyone else who's been talking today. Just his radical acceptance of everyone the way they are. And I will never forget that. Thank you.
Thank you, Shachar.
Thank you, Shachar. Welcome, Carla.
Dutchin and Ari and Leila and Bodhi and Solomon and all of you folks that I've known since 1985, when I first came to Sufi camp and had no idea what it was about. Jason, when I saw that picture of him that you sent out, I just cried. The world has lost an amazing man. And you, Dutchin and Jason, have always accepted me and joyfully loved me no matter what. And I really appreciate the whole Maui people. Since I moved to Montana, you know, I've missed being in your camps. So I've been in the wilderness camp here. But Jason and Dutchin, you changed my life so much. I got to dance and sing and lead dances with Yaksan. And you always supported me, always in every way. And not only me, but everybody with such love. And getting to know your mom, Dutchin, was such a special treat when you came to the Big Island. And we swam together. And it was glorious. Anyway, I send you my heart and my condolences, and I miss Jason very much.
Thank you, Carla, Jamila.
Shakira.
Wait, we'll play this first.
Oh, okay.
step into the light of love. I live in remembrance of God. Ishq Allah, Mahmoud, La ilaha. Allah, 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 Allah. Allah, 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 Allah. I step into the light of love. I live in remembrance of God. Ishq Allah, Mahmoud, La ilaha. Allah, 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 Allah. Allah, 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 Allah. I step into the light of love. I live in remembrance of God. Ishq Allah, Mahmoud, La ilaha. Allah, 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 Allah.
You're going to see heavy business. One of my guests will go right on top. Right on top of it. I think I'm getting in now. Short track.
Is it a ringer?
Oh, this is so much fun.
Let's see a happy dance. Come on.
Here it is.
Allah, 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 Allah.
Side of many people, really.
Okay, Darby.
I'm bowing and so to my loveless brother, giant of the heart. Judy, I'm so grateful that you stepped in because it made it possible to have your tile enlarged so that I could see you, Detchen. And I'm so grateful to see Ari by your side. So I just want to say the words, love, deep, deep gratitude. So many ways that, and how exquisite that video played. Jason and I were brother and sister taking initiation in that same glorious ceremony, and we shared our name, Shakura Aloha and Shakira. I was, as soon as I heard, I immediately started thinking of the ways, what it would take, how it would be, because I knew that I would get on an airplane for any celebration of life. So thank you for this Zoom. Jason, I'm so grateful to trust that you know what is in my heart and that we all share this unity. So deep, so deep. Thank you for being a giant in the good brother, Jason, and all of you.
Thank you, Shakira. I wanted to express my heart
my feelings for you, Dutchin, who I haven't seen in some time, but I just feel Jason's presence so strongly. And this ceremony right now, this Zoom ceremony, which Bodhi and Leila, you're facilitating so beautifully, thank you. It is a reflection of one facet, one small segment of the love which Jason extended into this life. It's shown here. This is a garden with so many souls just in picture here from all over the world joined together to honor him in this way. So I just wanted to say thank you, Jason, for who you are and who you've always been and who you continue to be. And thank you for touching my heart so much. Namaste.
Thank you, Michael.
Thank you, Michael. Okay, Lavenda.
Aloha. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes, we do. Aloha.
Okay. I'm Lavinda. I have been living on Maui for 25 years. And I'm so happy that Zoom is existing because right now I'm in Switzerland and I'm so happy to be part of this, honoring Jason. And I feel Jason and Dutch and I always felt as a unit. So my heart goes out to you, Dutch, so much. And I wanted to thank you both, Jason and Dutch. As I came to Maui in 1993, a month later, I met Jason. I mean, from Germany, I came to Maui. And I met him at a business conference. And then after that, for half a year or longer, every month or every 2 weeks, we would meet all those people who had gone from Maui to this conference and would sit and support each other and put out our visions. And I want to connect to that, what Justin said, because I always felt Jason was this person who was totally clearly saying, of course we can do that. Of course, yes. And that's going to happen for the world. And his love and kindness came through in this circle as well. And then he and Dutchen took me under their wings with the care of his mother. And it was really rough in the first 2 or 3 years coming from Germany and living on Maui. And I felt they were my papa and mom, and they were giving me the real love I needed in order to go on and keep on and really being there and enjoying finally the life on Maui with all what it is. And I will be forever grateful to Jason and to Dutch for this beautiful foundation of love they represented and they gave me, and the beautiful kindness I had never experienced before. And this was always in my heart, and now with Jason having crossed the rainbow, I feel him here in Switzerland. And I feel even more with his passing, I feel my determination to continue that kindness and love and aloha into the world so we can all stand together around the earth and hold the aloha and the love Jason is standing for as well. Mahalo. Thank you.
Mahalo.
Thank you, Lavenda. very much. I'm hearing some common themes amongst all of us. Yeah, I'm sure we're all feeling.
Aloha, can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes, I just wanted to share that, seeing those pictures of Jason, he's like, he's in bliss. I mean, he always, that's what I knew about him. He was in bliss, in joy, in sharing his love, his beauty, and every single picture is like he's just shining. And he happened to bring together, in this earth, this incredible community and create this celebration, this music, he was like the support of this amazing coming together that happened over and over, twice a year. It was almost like too much sometimes. But anyway, that brought us so much joy. And I just wanted to say that he chose an incredible day to pass onto the other world, because he joined another celebration, and he passed the same day as Ramana Maharshi did. And so he went from this earth celebration to the heaven celebration, which he was already celebrating. And I just, when I heard that he had passed that day, that particular day, I was praying already for Ramana, and I was like, wow, this is incredible. This is incredible that he chose this moment, because the heavens were celebrating with him in that path. Thank you.
Thank you, Jamila.
Aloha, Latifa.
Aloha. I keep hearing in my heart this whole time that we're talking, the way in the universal worship we say to the light of the divine, whatever it is, and I keep hearing to the light of the divine Jason. Mm-hmm. And I feel as if Jason is infusing all of us, every one of us here, and the family, everyone he has touched, with the joy of unconditional love, of being absolutely accepted, absolutely adored, absolutely welcomed all the time, never different. And the two memories that keep coming to me are, I think it was 1992, Chris Boz, Detchen, Jason, Ari, Justin, and Lonnie, little Lonnie, and I spent 3 days in Haleakala. And we spent these 3 days with our packs and wearing nothing else but our shoes. And the whole time singing and chanting and praying. And I was thinking, where else? Who else? When would this ever possibly happen? And it was like the, what are those called? The silver swords. It was like the silver swords were just singing through us into the light of this incredible moonscape with this unbelievable love. And I felt completely welcomed. It was my first real journey just with Detchen and Jason, which has continued through the years. And then I remember receiving over and over again, and I think everybody got these little postcards that talked about the attitude of gratitude. And it was part of Jason's wanting everyone to move forward, wanting everyone to receive, wanting everyone to be in gratitude and everyone to be in love. And I don't want to take a lot of time. I just, wow, I just feel grateful, intensely, amazingly grateful. And I send my love to Detchen, to all of you. And thank you for creating this moment. Thank you. Mahalo.
Mahalo.
Thank you, Latifa.
Thank you.
but this. Oh, what is my purpose but this? My voice will always praise thee. My voice will always praise thee. Oh, what is my purpose but this? Oh, what is my purpose but this? Allow me to serve thee. Allow me to serve thee. Oh, what is my purpose but this?
Okay, we'll come back to, I think Mo'o is going to share.
Oh,
No? Okay, then we don't have any.
Oh,
Go ahead.
am I there? Am I there?
Yes,
Am I there? Can you hear me?
hear you.
Okay. Okay, well, we've said a lot about Jason's many, many, many stellar qualities, but no one has mentioned him as a fashion icon. So I am honoring him today, wearing the official Jason uniform, Sufi shirt, and lungi. And yeah, that sort of is a statement about who he was, his easygoing nature, and his lightheartedness and playfulness, and along with the profundity and everything else. So that was of a exalted nature. That's about what I wanted to share and how much I loved him. And I think it says a lot about a person, the reflection of the people that show up to honor him in this stage. And couldn't be more beautiful and grand. And honor to Jason and Detchen always, and all our family.
Thank you, Mo'o.
Detchen wants to speak, or somebody there?
You're on.
Aloha, everyone. Thank you so much for being on the Zoom call today and remembering all the wonderful things about Jason. He will always live in our hearts. He will always be present with us in this this extended family, this extended life. And I'm so grateful seeing all these pictures from when we were young to now. We got to grow old together, and we had 42 years of marriage that was extraordinary. And the rest of the slideshow is pretty much Jason and me smooching. We had a wonderful gift to each other when it would be a holiday, a special holiday. We would give, one would give the other 1,000 kisses. And at Christmas, I said, I'd like 1,000 smooches for Christmas. And he said, no, 1,100. So we counted down from 1100 and we were having such a good time. We counted back up to 900. So it was just an example of so much affection and so much love and appreciation for each other. I truly have no regrets and only appreciation for our wonderful life. And thank you all for being part of it.
Oh, love you so much.
Thank you, Detchen.
So much love.
Anybody else want to say anything?
So it looks like we're gonna,
There's somebody at Detchen's windows.
somebody's gonna speak
I
still.
think somebody.
Yeah, if we, Paige would like to say something if we have time.
Yeah, please.
I just want to say that when I first came to Maui, I landed at Ari's house and I stayed with her for a couple months out in Hana, and I had no idea what I was coming to. But at some point we had a Tara camp, or she did, and anybody who came out to Hana, I got to meet, and I met Detchen and Jason. And this is now 13 years ago. And after that, I knew I would move here permanently. And these guys adopted me immediately, especially when I moved to Kihei. I was here for 6 months out in the rainy area, and then thought I'm gonna be in sun 24/7 all year round and be with be a mermaid. And Detchen and Jason adopted me immediately. So loving. They knew nothing about me. I didn't share a lot about myself. They didn't care. It just was a heartfelt love. And all of us feel that. I know I'll always feel enormously grateful for your love and for Jason's hugs and your hugs. You helped me see how much love there can be in a home. And I had never seen that. I mean, I've seen it with Latif and Pegeen, of course, but I've really got to see it here because I spent so much time in your home. And whenever I need people, I come here. Whenever I need hugs, I come here. And I have a full life on Maui. This is my home. Thank you. I love you so much. It'll pick you up. It's a good one.
I'll hold it for you.
I tend to be a hermit, and I know that I need to get inclusion in with other people. And when I lived here before in the 90s and the early part of the 2000s, I needed to connect, and Jason and Detchen were how I connected into the community. And every Wednesday night I'd go up and watch West Wing with them. And that created family for me in a very particular way. And who they were and what they expressed was a particular kind of healing that I very much needed. And I can be grumpy and blah, 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 not the most positive person, but Jason was always smiling and positive and accepting and turning it into a different way of looking at something, always positive. And when I moved back and I needed to reconnect into the community, he sent out these emails helping me get work again. And in fact, it allowed me also to get a place to live. And financially, I was strapped, and he helped me get loans, even to the point I took the computer over and he sat with me and spent time with me figuring out how to put the information into the computer to get a loan. He was always just sweet. And my favorite thing is to call him the tall one, because I know he got slumpy doodle. And I would just stroke his back down, and I would stroke his chest up, and he would get very tall and smiley. And it was just whether at the beach or here at home. And Detchen and Jason were always welcoming and loving to me, no matter what kind of shape I was in. And being a hermit and a loner lots of times, I think it took Detchen maybe 5 years to get me to go to Sufi camp once. And it was a wonderful experience. So they inform my life, and they will continue to inform my life. Detchen here in person, and Jason wherever he moves into. Just tremendous gratitude that's beyond words. So from the essence of me to the essence of you, thank you.
All right, I know we're running out of time and we're going way ahead, but I just want to say one little quick thing. Jason and Detchen have been, I knew I couldn't do this without crying. The biggest part of my life, opening me up at Sufi camp and changing my whole spiritual from personal growth into spiritual growth. And I know I'm just an in-law, but I feel like I'm as much family as more so than my own. Oh, my mom's not watching. I did send her the link. I love you too, Mom. Happy Mother's Day. Happy Mother's Day. Thank you, everybody. Thank you, Layla and Bodhi. And that's it. Bye.
Thank you for the awesome.
Oh, I did want to say one thing to Anne. She brought us all these lays, and she's just been such a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful support. And all of you guys are just amazing, amazing. Paige is working her butt off cleaning up the office, and Dominique's delivering mail, and Anne, the other Anne is calling every day, and Ari is doing her best, even though her life is like a train wreck at the moment. and she's still there wanting to help, and I'm like, just lay down. Anyway, this community is amazing, and I love you guys so much.
We offer our lays to you, Jason.
Yeah, Jason.
Ever a circle of love that you represented and seared into each of our hearts with the way you love. You.
Ya Fatah, Ya Fatah. All right, thank you guys for listening.
Thank you, Judy. Thank you, Paige. Thank you, Dominique. Thank you, Detchen. We'll come to the close now, and I know we're just not going to get to hear everybody that would like to speak, but so we'll have Pir Shabda play a little something, and then we'll close on with a slideshow. And Leila and I both want to just appreciate all of you for showing up today and taking the time of your life. We're having the time of our life, that you're taking time out to really honor and bless and love Jason and Detchen, and they're so dear to us. And like so many of you said, Jason is still so very present. So thank you, Jason.
Hey, let's bring our hearts together and sing. Here we go. La ilaha illallah illallah la ilaha illallah illallah la ilaha illallah illallah la ilaha illallah Allah la ilaha Jason, Detchen. La ilaha illallah illallah la ilaha illallah la ilaha illallah illallah la ilaha illallah illallah Allah la ilaha. Get our hearts together, sing to Jason. La ilaha Ooh.
Thank you to Mom. We'll close it out now. Thank you all.
My soul awakens with the light, and my spirit rejoices in the heavens. My soul awakens with the light, and my spirit rejoices in the heavens. Share your love, share your love with the world. Share your love, share your love with the world. My soul awakens with the light, and my spirit rejoices in the heavens. My soul awakens with the light, and my spirit rejoices in the heavens. Share your love, share your love with the world. Share your love, share your love with the world. My soul awakens with the light, and my spirit rejoices in the heavens. My soul awakens with the light. Oh, we never know where life will take us. I know it's just a ride on the wheel, and we never know when death will shake us, and we wonder how it will feel. So goodbye, my friend. I know I'll never see you again, but the time together through all the years will take away these tears. It's okay now. Goodbye, my friend.
We love you, Jason. We love you. Blessings on you. And may your trail be beautiful. Yafata,
We will
Yafata.
see you everywhere, all the time.
Yafata, Yafata. And may we all live long enough together to dance and sing and hug and pray and be together. May it be so. Thank you all.
Hey, Bodhi,
Yeah.
this is Judy. I had a thought that maybe you could, while you're still recording, put up all the messages from everyone. And so we have it recorded so she can see all the messages, everybody. So click on the.
Thank you, Judy. That's good. Excellent.
Yeah.
Just by opening the chat window.
Yeah, you should be able to listen. You may have to, scroll and then so where you can read it and then scroll. I mean, obviously we can pause it, so that's easy. You just show them, and then so you should just be able to open up the chat and while you're recording. I don't know if you could do it while you're spotlighted, but
It's open now, and I'm scrolling through them.
okay.
Your screen,
So
buddy.
it's not on the screen yet to record though.
Share your screen, Bodhi.
Share your screen. Thank
Share
you,
my screen,
Jaybird.
Bodhi.
Yeah.
You can also save the chat. I saved it, so I can also forward that to Dutchin.
Let's make sure. Okay, Bodhi's trying to find it, so that's great. You have it, see, Lily.
Okay, we'll end it there.
No, let's just try to get it screen shared.
Wait one sec. Bodhi and Leila, can you hear me?
Yes, we do, and we see you too.
It's Sheila. It's Sheila. I was planning to be there for the whole thing, but with the time changes, I got the time mixed up.
Ah, well, you're here now. Hi, Sheila.
Yeah, hi. Hi. I expect you had a wonderful session, and my love and blessings for Jason.
Thank you. And we recorded it, so there'd be a link available.
Oh, perfect. That's what I was hoping for.
Where are you, Sheila?
I'm in Halifax, so I'm 1 hour ahead of New York. So it's 5 p.m. here right now. So I had it fixed in my head that it was going to be 6 p.m. my time. Of course, that was just what I had stored in my head.
Yes. Well, that's easy to have happen.
Yeah.
Loves, thank you all for being here. I know some people have already left. I want to switch to gallery view so I really see everyone that's here.
Oh, good. I was thinking everyone had gone already. That's why I was just chatting away there.
I don't think so. We probably have lost some people. So now we're going to look at gallery view.
Oh, wow. Wow. Here we are. Ah.
You can all unmute yourselves if y'all want to talk to everybody all at once.
And Bodhi, what I was thinking is that if we all unmute ourselves before we go, and you guys be the ones to tell us, we could do 3 big yafatas together. Yeah. Our whole sangha for Jason.
Good idea.
Okay, y'all need to unmute yourselves.
I would like us to do a 3 Yashakurs, be ahead of that, because Shakur is also important to us and Jason, and with gratitude towards Jason. Yeah.
So 3 Yafatas and 3 Yashakurs?
So we do the Shakurs first.
Well, yeah, we'll do the Shakurs first.
So y'all need to unmute yourselves, and we're all obviously not going to be on the same.
It's going to be a cacophony. Oh, you get to see who we've been with all this time.
Yes.
Wow.
Shakur.
Love you all.
You are all so beautiful.
We are so beautiful.
We are.
Love
I
her.
love you, Ditchin. I
Oh,
love you,
David.
Ari. I love you, Judy.
Thank you so
Jason.
much for putting this together. It's so nice to see all my old friends.
Beautiful. Thank you, Layla and Bodhi. It was
Yeah.
beautiful.
Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Aloha, aloha, aloha to you all.
Aloha.
Aloha. Much
Thank you,
love.
And on and on. It goes on for 8 pages.
Work time.
Rolling. I'm still seeing people that I didn't know were on the call, so this is really.
I think I haven't even seen every page yet. Let me see. Oh, aloha, everybody. So blessed to be here.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. I want to see. I met everybody at Sufi camp. So here's a little poem I wrote. It's called The Breakfast Line.
Okay.
Drawn into a warm embrace, gentle kisses on my face. I'm included. I belong. Love leaks out as prayers and song.
Oh, beautiful. Thank you.
Okay, Rosie.
Here we go.
All beings be happy.
Aloha.
All beings be happy. All beings be happy.
Aloha.
Aloha.